All right, welcome back to another edition of the better kind of NFL Top 100. We are now going with the 30s here. We're actually 20s, 30 through 21. So yeah, really getting down to it. These are the best of the best. So yeah, let's just get into the list. Of course, if you want to hear who I had 31 through 100, those videos are all on this channel. If you just want to skip ahead to when I go to the tens and then the 1 through 10, tomorrow and the next day will be when I release those videos. But yeah, without further ado, let's just get into it. Number 30 is the linebacker for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Lavonte David, who, has been having a great career, obviously, but might have had a banner year last year for Tampa Bay. I thought that he did so much well and was a real part of why that team ended up making the playoffs, despite the fact that, everyone thought they should be Super Bowl contenders the year before, heading into that season. Even though it was disappointing, part of why it wasn't a complete and utter failure was because of Lavonte David's great work, making that defense still very good. Kind of the thing about David is he's so good, he's made people think Devin White is a great player, right? Because he does so many of the little things. He opens up someone like Devin White to, in fairness to him, still be able to make some plays on his own. Lavonte David is definitely a guy who just does all the dirty work and never gets the credit he deserves. Well, don't worry, Lavonte. I'm giving you the credit here. If that matters, accounts for anything, probably doesn't, but hopefully does a little bit. I have him here at 30. Number 29, I have George Kittle. George Kittle makes the list. Who, it's weird. His receiving stats have just consistently gone down. I mean, his second year he had 1,300 yards, and we were talking about him as like, oh my god, is this guy going to be the next, best tight end? Is he going to be in the GOAT conversation? That hasn't quite happened, but it feels like almost a intentional decision by the 49ers to just only utilize him when it's absolutely necessary. And he's still been incredibly effective. He's still arguably the best blocking tight end in football and still a monster receiver when necessary. He still had 765 receiving yards and 11 touchdowns last year. Those are star, tight end numbers. They're not quite Travis Kelce numbers or year two George Kittle numbers, but they're incredibly good numbers and, really spectacular numbers. So yeah, I have him here at 29. Number 28, I'm going with Bobby Wagner, the linebacker who, is now back with the Seattle Seahawks. He was, formerly Pro Football Focus's number one rated linebacker with the Rams, is now going back to the Seahawks to hopefully be that kind of, final piece in a puzzle that could maybe be a real contender, perhaps with Seattle. Yeah, I mean, again, like I said, was PFF's number one rated linebacker, and they liked him that much for a reason. He did everything well. One of those guys who there's no real knocks on Bobby Wagner's game. He's someone who does, every aspect of the game that you want him to do, he can do. He can do the little things. He can get the splash plays. He's, high batting average and high home run hitter. Number 28 on this list. Number 27, I am going with Sauce Gardner. Sauce Gardner makes this list as, he was a tough guy to put on the list. He really was, because honestly, I thought he was amazing last year. Like, if we're just ranking this list of players who were at their best last year, if that's all I'm doing with this list, he's probably in the top 5. Like, I think he was that good, but it was 1 year. And coverage is fluky, so I had to dock him a good amount of spots because of that. Because, it is 1 year. I want to see it with a bigger sample size, so I can't go too crazy and get too excited with Sauce Gardner. But I'm going a little crazy and getting a little excited with Sauce Gardner. I mean, again, top 27 for a guy who's only played 1 year. Not easy to get that high on the list, but when you're probably the best corner in football, yeah, that'll do it. At least, he was the best corner in football last year. I mean, yeah. That'll do it. I'll put you at 27. Number 26. So AJ Brown, not quite a top 25 player, maybe next year, but still 26 is pretty good, I would think. With just shy of 1,500 yards at 1,496, had 11 touchdowns as well. One thing that I think went kind of underrated is AJ Brown put up similar volume stats in Tennessee. He just struggled to stay healthy. And so this is kind of the first year we've seen a fully healthy AJ Brown. I didn't love the trade at the time, but it's looked even better now that he's been healthy. And also, I think one of the things about Tennessee is they kind of used him with a lot of these over the middle type routes. In Philadelphia, we'll use him in that way. Also has really kind of unlocked the downfield passing attack because Hurts is so good at those deep balls with the accuracy that it's just really been a match made in heaven. And AJ Brown's been a star player for Philadelphia. So yeah, I have him here at number 26. Number 25, I am sticking with wide receivers. I am going Jamar Chase, who got a little banged up last year, still had over 1,000 yards. Obviously, didn't quite build off of the 1,455 yards in year one. We were thinking, oh my God, this guy's going to have 2,000 yards. Didn't quite work out that way, but it's still such a threat. I mean, teams just know you cannot leave Jamar Chase one-on-one. I don't care if you have, Deion Sanders there, don't do it. We saw teams with great corners like, the Rams in the Super Bowl. We got Jalen Ramsey. We're all right. No, you're not. Jamar Chase can beat him. He's someone who can just beat anyone one-on-one. And I think we still saw him kind of learn how to do stuff once he's getting those deep shots are getting taken away, still learn how to be an effective player. And I think he's going to be a consistent 1,000-yard receiver and probably more than that. For his entire career, he's in Cincinnati, which should be for, the next 10 years or so. So yeah, Jamar Chase, absolutely incredible. He's here at 25. 24 is where I put Aaron Rodgers. A bit of a tough guy to put on the list, to be honest. Someone who you could argue should be higher if you want to. But I put him here at 24, or you can also argue he could be lower. I mean, he was not the 24th best player last year, but I think a lot of that was situation. I think a lot of that was situation. I think he's still going to be very good next year. And I do think that also some of the issues that happened last year, I think were kind of blamed on him because he's the quarterback and not just the quarterback, but Aaron Rodgers, the quarterback. So you're going to get some extra attention that way in a negative sense. But I thought that, he made the most of a bad opportunity and was the reason the Packers still managed to make the playoffs last year. And I'm interested in seeing how it'll go next year with the Jets. Number 23, I'm going Josh Allen. I've recorded a video of comparing Allen and Rodgers, saying who's better. I don't know if I'm going to post that before or after because I, plan these things a little bit in advance. But for Josh Allen, he is someone who, I think had his best year last year. His numbers were fantastic. And while he's been a bit of an inconsistent player throughout the course of his career, last year was easily his most consistent year. And I'm buying Josh Allen stock at this point. So while I think that there's, maybe some small holes in his game that kind of keep him out of being in the top 20, he's still good enough to me to put him in the top 25. Number 22 is the Dallas Cowboys interior offensive lineman, guard Zack Martin, a guy who's just been a really consistently good offensive lineman for them for several years. He's even played tackle in the past and been good there, but he's at his best at the guard position. So yeah, really good player, means a lot for them. He's here at 22. And number 21, to round out the 20s, well, I guess technically not, because number 20 is still going to be announced tomorrow, but Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb's great. Like, Nick Chubb does not get enough credit for what he's able to do. I'm not sure if it's just him playing in Cleveland or what, but this is a guy who's he's racked up 6,300 career rushing yards in 5 seasons. I mean, he's getting well over 1,000 yards a season average. He had 1,500 yards and 12 touchdowns rushing last year. It was a huge reason that I think that if they don't go to Watson and keep Brissett in there, there's a chance they make the playoffs last year. There really is. Now, again, I don't know if they do, and I don't know what they would have done if they got there, but a big reason why they were in position to do that is because Nick Chubb, despite having over 300 carries, still had a 5 yards per carry year, which with that volume is absurd. He's a career 5.2 yards per carry guy. I mean, he's consistently been an elite running back for Cleveland, and we really don't talk about it as much as we should, but I'm talking about it here. Number 21 on this list. So yeah, those are the 20s. You have Nick Chubb, Zack Martin, Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers, Jamar Chase, A.J. Brown, Sauce Gardner, Bobby Wagner, George Kittle, and Lavonte David. Tomorrow, we're getting down to it. Only 2 of these videos left. Thank you to everyone who's been with me all of this way. 2 videos left. Let's talk about who will be number 20 through 19. So be on the lookout for that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.